This week on Arcade Couch, breaking down the Pokemon Day Pokemon Presents for 2026, our impressions on Resident Evil Requiem, and playing the Marathon Service Line. Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your game goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, excited to be here and on a full couch.
On a full couch, because also here, Ciaran Marchant.
Hello, it is I, here on a couch with three people.
Thank you. Let's get into the big news that happened this week. So we had a Pokemon Presents this week, early Saturday morning. Sorry, it was early Saturday morning. It was expected to be a big one because it was the 30th anniversary of Pokemon this year. So was expecting the 10th generation of games to be announced, which they were right at the end. So that was the cap off. Amongst some other things, I'll quickly read down through everything that happened in order. I presume most of it we will just be skimming past until we get to the big announcement. But stop me on anything that actually is of interest. So they started with a Game Music Collection Game Boy Jukebox announcement, which is a little Game Boy-like device that comes with 45 separate cartridges, all which each plays a different song in it. It is Pokemon Center exclusive, which means you would have to use one of those like import sites to redirect it to get it to Australia if you really want it. I don't even know if I own that, where you fit 45 cartridges and like how you would even be like, hey, friends, you're over at my house. Let me show you my Game Boy with 45 different cartridges.
And even more annoying is if you were a collector of this type of thing, there is two different versions. There is a red and a blue version of this. Yeah. Fuck, this is just Nintendo just once again being like, hey, we could sell whatever the fuck we want. These idiots will buy it.
So you need to buy 90 to be able to display everything at the same time.
Well, no, I would think they would. I would say they would be duplicates. Like it'd be the same 45 cartridges. They're just colored. One's colored blue and one colored red.
And people will buy both.
And people will fucking buy both. But this is just the crazy wackiness of just, hey, we're fucking Nintendo. We do what the fuck we want.
It's weird. It's it's one of those things where I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know why I would use that or want that.
I mean, it's a display piece. So
yeah, it's definitely a display piece sort of thing. But if I had, like, if someone was like, here it is, I'd be like, I would definitely sit there for like half an hour going through them all. And then after that, I'll display it somewhere and never touch it again. Probably. That's sort of how that would end up. It reminds me of it's similar to the what do you want to call it, the retro consoles and all that sort of stuff, where I didn't really care for those. And the only one I brought was the PS1 one because I saw it somewhere on like half price sale or something when I brought it.
You saw it. I remember you talking about it. It was like EB Games or something. It was like,
it was like cheap because I didn't want to buy the full price when it was there. And that was something where it's like I buy it, plug it in, mess around for a couple hours, never touched it since. Now it just sits on a shelf as a display arm. That's it. So then they went over Pokemon.
Where did I put my Super Nintendo?
You don't even know? There you go. Did you pay full price for that?
Probably.
What are we doing? We then went over Pokemon XP in the 2026 Pokemon World Championships that are coming up. Pokemon Go's got its 10th anniversary happening at the moment, and that's sort of crazy to me to think that game's 10 years old. But
that is mental.
Yeah. They're doing a bunch of events, of course, most of Pokemon being added back into the game March 7th to 9th, apparently. So then they did a Pokemon TCG little trailer, didn't really announce what it was, but just said that there was a simultaneous worldwide release of something coming later this year. So they don't usually do that. Usually, obviously, the sets come out Japan first. So then Pokemon Masters EX got a trailer, Red and Pikachu and a bunch of people coming to the game. Pokemon Cafe Remix got a trailer. They're adding a bunch of people to the game. Pokemon Sleep's adding Mew to the game. Pokemon Unite is adding Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and other ones are coming to the game. Pokemon TCG Pocket is adding a little limited time events to the game or whatever. Then they announced Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is coming to GameCube Classics. I never played this because I never owned a GameCube. Would be interested to I don't know if I could play through the whole thing. But I would be interested to boot it up and have a play around this with the try and fort or figure out what's going on with Shadow Lugia in this. So then they had a trailer for Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green, which we already knew this was happening, but these are out now. They're $30 each Australian. But they did confirm something in this that wasn't confirmed previously, which is that they do have Pokemon Home support. So if you do get Pokemon in this that you like and shinies or whatever, you will be able to take them to Pokemon Home and then take them to certain other games from there. So that's at least something nice.
Was shinies a thing back then?
Yeah, shinies always been a thing.
Not always been a thing.
I think they've always been a thing. I don't know if they were definitely in the first ones, but they were definitely been in it since like the GBA games. I don't know if they were in like the original Fire, but original Red and Green versions, but shinies are definitely in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Then they announced that Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension DLC is getting an update where you'll be able to now unlock the Mega Garchomp Z for free. It's a mystery gift thing. Then they did a trailer for Pokemon Pokopia, which is out this week. That's on March 5th. This is a cool new trailer that was built off. They also had a Nintendo Treehouse Live, early in the week that went over both the upcoming Switch 2 version of Mario Wonder and Pokemon Pokopia. So between this trailer and watching that early in the week, I've seen a lot of Pokemon Pokopia. The game looks like a lot of fun. It's definitely like Animal Crossing Light, but Pokemon, which is pretty much what I think everyone wants it to be. It's very cute. Looks simple enough, but fun. This trailer showed off Stereo Rotom, and a Greedent chef, and visiting other people's islands, whatever the fuck.
Locations.
Locations, okay. Not islands, sorry.
I mean, it definitely is an island.
Yeah. And then they had a short trailer for Pokemon Champions, confirmed that game is coming out April 2026 for Nintendo Switch. The mobile version is coming later in 2026, doesn't have a release date yet. This is still, considering this game, so this game's going to come out April, that gives it 3 months before it's going to be the lead main game at the Pokemon World Championship. So for everyone who's going to be attending that and wanting to get their head around how the game works, you've got 3 months to wrap your head around it. But also the other confirmation of Pokemon Home stuff, like Pokemon Leaf Green having Pokemon Home support, Pokemon ZA's getting Pokemon Home support in the future. That's all good because anyone with Champions launching, it's pretty much most people will be playing all the other Pokemon games. And then if they want to treat the battling serious, you're going to want to take it to Pokemon Home and then take it to Champions, because that's where the future of Pokemon tournament esports play is Pokemon Champions. So
how do you feel? I saw this question asked on another podcast. How do you feel about at the Pokemon Championships there won't be like a mainline game for Pokemon anymore? It's just going to be all spin-offs.
I'm fine with it. I think there's something about having the unified game, but then it's also just still the thing. It's like, well, people can play the new games like the Gen 10 games, and they can go hunting for good Pokemon in that and get good stats and everything, and then they just bring in the champions and fight with them. So you'll still potentially see, or they can still have Pokemon Champions rule sets that say you can only battle with the Pokemon that are in the Waves and Wind, for example. So
I also think it's Pokemon as a game isn't designed necessarily as a platform for competitive esports. Realistically, it's first and foremost designed as the single player experience game, and then multiplayer is kind of attached on. So it's not, I wouldn't say that it is fine tuned with that in mind. So I think having a platform that is esports specific allows the development team to build that community up even more, to add more features to it, to bring balancing into the game, to be able to do different things with that format, rather than every 12 to 24 months having to change completely around based upon whatever is the current release of Pokemon that they're playing.
That's fair.
Because what they can do in this one is, so let's say that, I'm saying Raichu because it's in the thumbnail for the trailer. Let's say that Raichu was like a big meta Pokemon because of a certain attack or something, and then part of its passive ability or something, they could not change any of the stats of Raichu in Winds and Waves and just be like, it's fine because it's the single play experience, whatever. It's a bit OP in that game. Who cares? But then if people bring it across to Home, although all the stats could still say the same, they can actually nerf the amount of damage that the attack that's considered OP does without it. You know what I mean? Like they have more control. So yeah, I think it's fine. And then we got the big one. So Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves were announced with our first look at the brand new 10th generation Pokemon games, which will be released exclusively from the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2027. We also got a look at the new starter Pokemon, which are called Brout, Pom-Bom, and Gekwa. Gekwa? I'm going with Gekwa. Showed off a bunch of very island locations. You've got a Pokemon Pikachu's in this wearing like Hawaiian shirts and stuff. The also shows that you'll be going underwater. Different sort of biomes are seen, poisonous ones, and all sorts of different sort of features like that. Obviously, it's a big open world similar to the last ones, but everyone's hoping it'll run. Well, it will run much better because fucking Scarlet and Violet run 10 million times better on Switch 2 as it is. I'm already putting I know everyone's going for, but we'll get to the big question before we talk about how you actually feel about the trailer and the gameplay. Let's just do the starter question because that's the big one. So I know the internet's in love with Pom-Bom. That's the dog one that everyone seems to love. I've already decided I love Brout. I love the little angry face on that motherfucker, and he looks ready to fight, and I get it. So I'm going Brout. Ash?
Grout looks like the love child between like the secret love child of an angry bird and one of the pigs.
Yep. That's fine.
So that's fine. I'm Gekwa. Go Gekwa.
You see, at the minute I'm Pom-Bom. I'm like a generic basic ass bitch. But I also need to see their evolutionary lines.
Look at this.
I need to see because Gekwa has.
You need to love them at their first form, not at the last form.
No. Their last form because that's the form you're going to spend the longest with them.
Yeah.
Weird.
Don't show. No spoiling the evolutions. No one's allowed to find out until the game's out.
No, exactly. But Gekwa for me has the potential to turn into like a Greninja type character, and that is pretty fucking cool. So it'll just.
The question is, what haven't they done yet? Because they're not going to do Greninja version 2.
They could do.
Why not?
Because that's just not what they do.
Well, the fucking like the what was the toad, the frog from the last one? No, there wasn't the frog because the frog one was the duck.
The duck, Quaxley was the last one.
Quaxley, yes.
Yeah. All I know is that
like figure skater.
Yeah, that the evolutions people didn't love of the last one. So, I'll say that. So the descriptions they've given for each. So, Brout is described as lively but clumsy bean chicken Pokemon. Fucking oh my god. The fire starter Pom-Bom is described as guileless and friendly puppy Pokemon. And Gekwa is described as the intelligent water gecko Pokemon. All I know is describing a Pokemon as water intelligent Pokemon, that motherfucker's going to end up standing on 2 legs doing some sort of like, excuse me pose. Like, I am smart. Like,
that's how evolution works.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to happen. I can see it right now.
Eventually, you evolve so much, you get up on 2 legs.
I'm also with the internet. Everyone on the internet is already starting a Pom-Bom better not get off those 4 legs as the evolutions continue, and I'm all for that because they just keep the puppy on 4 legs. Just have it evolve and still be a dog. It's fine.
Surely on the betting one of those betting markets that predictive betting markets, they've already got like odds.
Will it stay on? Will it stay on all 4 paws?
Yeah.
Will Pom-Bom stand on 2 legs? Odds are 2 to 3. I would be not surprised if that's a thing. All right, let's go with you first, Ciaran, because you're you're usually the Pokemon naysayer in the trio, I guess. Mm-hmm. So what do you make of Winds and Waves?
I have hope. This game for me screams like the next gen Pokemon game based on looks and based on what we can see in the trailer initially. I think it looks like it should be the next gen Pokemon game. Is it going to do that? I don't know. Like, I don't think we know. I think there's already people who have been doing tests on the trailers, which, yes, is unfair, but the trailers are locked as a 30 frames a second overall. Like, it's not going to be, at least for now, I don't read too much into that because, of course, we don't know until the actual game comes out what the performance of this game will be. I hope the Switch 2 is used to its fullest advantage. I hope this game is only brought out on the Switch 2. I hope they do.
No, it is. It's 100% confirmed. It's Switch 2 exclusive.
Switch 2 exclusive. It's out next year even more, so they've given themselves plenty of time. They're not rushing it. I would be a bit more worried if they were like, we're trying to get it out this year for the 30th anniversary. It is next year. That's awesome. That's really good. Give them as much time to work on it and to branch out and to learn and to listen to what people have been asking for and to continue to grow the game. If we get this game and it is a continuation, an iteration of the last 2 installments we've had in the main line, I'd be pretty disappointed. If it does push the limits and try and grow itself and maybe take some lessons from Breath of the Wild, because I think the Switch 2 has now shown how well that technology can be used. You know, this week we've had fantastic reports of people wanting to play Resident Evil Requiem on that console as a specified choice for that console. And
if you just look past the hair.
If you just look past the hair, of course. Just go first person mode.
Just play first person mode.
Just play first person mode and you're fine. But like that's the thing. In all the years of the Switch, like that kind of discussion around a major third party game has not really been a thing. There hasn't been people considering having it on their Switch to play. Unless it's like their only console, of course. I'm optimistic, but at the same time I'm just forever jaded by previous Pokemon games and how little or how lackadaisical they seem to be with pushing the future of the franchise.
That's the most positive reaction I think I could have expected.
Also, I saw this. Also, if there's not voice acting in this game, I'll fucking scream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ash.
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty good. I think very little go off, but like it seems like it's running well. It looks better than the last couple of games. So I mean, it's hard to get super excited because obviously we kind of knew about all this stuff because everything from the big leak.
Yeah, I don't think Ciaran was on that episode. I think it was just you and me. We did discuss on here at some point a bunch of leaks and the titles, the rough setting, and everything.
Yeah, everything kind of stuck true. So, I mean, looks great. Don't know how I feel about Mr. Windy Chew and Ms. Wavy Chew.
Yeah, Wavy Chew. Windy
just
Chew.
kind of, they look like they've been in the sun in Florida for way too long. Yeah, I mean, everything sounds on paper looks good and sounds good. Committing to Switch 2, I think will stop a lot of complaints from last game, which obviously did not run at the standard we've come to expect from any Nintendo game.
I do think it's sort of sad but understandable that a new Pokemon trailer gets released and the number one discussion point straight away around like visual and performance quality, and that's just sort of the hole they've dug themselves into. But I think generally there's a lot of really good signs in here, and then some stuff that I'm just hoping will be improved across the next year of development. So they have shots of the water and everything. I think the standout is the water. It looks great. It's very beautiful to look at. And then there's some shots in the forest where it just looks pretty plain and boring. Nothing exciting happening there. So it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment, but obviously a lot of that could
But it's because
change.
Underwater's new and forests, we've seen a lot of forests.
I don't know. I saw there was like a swamp land that I thought looked freaking pretty cool to see.
Swamp stuff looks better. I mean like the straight...
Just the standard, like,
the
standard
forest
style.
Yeah,
forest.
Yeah. I think all the Pokemon animations that they show, they look to be... They're not just stock standard. if that's how they're actually moving around or how they'll potentially interact as you're going through the game. They look to have a lot more than usual going on as far as the animations go. I think the setting's exciting too. Islands, water, going undersea, all that sort of stuff. That's pretty exciting. But yeah, obviously we've got a year of several Pokemon Directs to find out snippets of information over the next 12 months, I'm sure, in the lead up to release. So,
how are you supposed to throw a Pokeball underwater?
We will find out. I'm sure there is like a water ball that is like little propellers and stuff and fucking.
Okay, that would be cool if they think of that. Yeah,
that sounds like the most straightforward explanation.
Or a spear gun Pokeball.
Yeah, maybe. No, you can't catch them underwater. You just go underwater, throw an electric Pokemon, and it dies. I'm like, what are we doing?
You throw any Pokemon out, this is dead.
Yeah, just
it's underwater.
It comes out, dies, other than a water Pokemon.
Every single one of your Pokemon need a scuba suit as well.
The game just refuses. It says you cannot throw this Pokemon here because it'll drown. It also, I'm wondering, because winds and waves, I'm like, okay, well, we're going underwater. Are we going in the sky too? Like, what are we?
I mean, there's speculation you'll be able to fly, like controlled.
Yeah.
You're flying Pokemon.
So that would be cool if you can actually do that. That'd be exciting. So, and then yeah, as far as like, I'm fence sitting on the title, but I think for another similar reason, which is you have to see the legendaries before you can lock in.
I do say, I think I've seen somebody online was like saying that they had been making there was the Australian version. There was another version that was maybe based on like Thailand or Singapore or somewhere of that line that they were also using the name of Wind and Wave, and it's been online for a couple of years. But it's likely a coincidence and a nothing story.
Yeah, assume coincidence, but all right. Anything else? Pokemon? No, cool.
Did you think there was going to be more in the Presents, like 30th anniversary, or was this what you expected? Like, I was very surprised that they didn't like talk about theme parks or movie TV properties, that kind of stuff.
I think the thing, I guess, too, that I want to say disappointed, because I just thought it was a decent. It was fine. They cover. I know if you're not huge into the Pokemon universe or whatever, you're like, why the fuck are they going over Pokemon Masters EX and all these other sleep and stuff? It's like because they make them a shit ton of money, so like of course they're going over more. So I think in terms of what was here, and it was only like 20 minutes, and we got the trailer. It was fine. The other thing I was thinking after I watched it, because I did not watch it live. Dylan passed out before that motherfucker started. I'll tell you right now. It's the whole year. So I'm like, I know that was the Pokemon Day celebration, but technically we have a whole year that's the 30th anniversary. So they could still announce if they did one 6 months from now and announced, let's go Chikorita Totodile or some shit. I don't know,
They've kind of given up on the Let's Go's, haven't they? They haven't
done one
since. Yeah.
No. But if they did some other like anniversary type celebratory games, they can still announce them later.
They could have done like a crazy like remake of like Yellow or something.
Well, that's what I was pitching to Ash last week. Yeah. I was pitching a remake of Yellow as the announcement. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Full remake. Pokemon Let's Go.
Electric Yellow, yeah.
Electric Yellow, yeah. All right, a couple of news stories to go over this week before we talk about some games we've been playing. But Bluepoint, talking about them again. So it came out this week that Bluepoint did at some point pitch a Bloodborne remake to Sony, and it was apparently shut down from Soft. The news came from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg, but he says that studio was told that the numbers made sense, but From Software didn't want it to happen. He also notes in the story that this makes sense given that Shuhei Yoshida had previously said in an interview of Kind of Funny Games that Hidetaka Miyazaki wanted to remake the game himself but is too busy at the moment to make the project happen. And then according to Schreier, the team at Bluepoint also had ambitions to make their own games or at least work in original games based on known IP rather than remakes. At the time, they pitched a God of War spin-off, which they spent almost 5 years working on, but then the game had to be a live service game, as was the mantra for Sony during this period, and we're still living with the outcome of this decision. In the last year before being shut down, the studio also reportedly pitched an updated version of Shadow of the Colossus. Again, they already remastered and remade for PlayStation 4, but Sony said no to that project. They also pitched a spin-off from Ghost of Tsushima. So all the Bloodborne fans were out with pitchforks this week. I tell you, the internet was the storm of Bloodborne fans.
Who were they angry at?
And Sony and everyone, I think. I think just generally, everyone involved for not making it happen. It's sort of, I mean, as someone who would lose his mind the day it's finally announced, because I fucking love Bloodborne, I sort of get that they're like, FromSoft is like, we want to do it ourselves, but I'm also like, guys,
you're never going to do it.
When and where? Also, Sony owns the IP, and this whole, like, it's a weird thing. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Ciaran?
I just feel like it's a continued thing of this is just a symptom of Sony's ideals around live service games and their desperation about wanting to produce live service games. I think it's the same thing with, I feel off about the up and coming Horizon game. I'm like, well, who wants this? Why do we want this? Why does anybody care?
Which one? There's two spin-offs.
The live service ones, like the hunting
which
grounds?
one?
The proper
the hunting grounds or whatever it's called, or like
the hunting grounds.
Hunting grounds. That one. Like, who wants this? Like, I feel like it's in so many ways they've just killed off sections of themselves. Like, I think this was like the beauty of like PlayStation 4 Sony is that they would have doubled down and been like, Bluepoint, fucking go, do it. Like, bring us Bloodborne back, or remake a game, like, or make your own thing.
Just put an asterisk on this. Apparently, with them saying FromSoft said no, technically, it doesn't matter that they said no because Sony
controls
Sony. So the only reason that if FromSoft said no and Sony was then like, I don't want to, like, they're literally Sony going, I don't want to piss them off.
It's also like, it sounds like we will get a Bloodborne remake down the line. We don't need to blow the load now.
Well, technically, they could do,
and it will probably sell better if it's from the original creator as well.
Oh yeah.
So for them, there's no rush to. For Sony, there's no rush to put out a Bloodborne remake.
But the minute that Sony doesn't seem to have a rush to do fucking anything, to be perfectly honest, other than shit the bed with Concord. That was rushed and done.
Well, they had a rush to put out all these live service games and that blew up in their face. So someone said he wouldn't rest.
Jim.
You know?
Yeah. So it's I think it's frustrating because I think Bluepoint, like the shitty thing of the situation, realistically, if we're talking about Bluepoint now, is we're never getting Bluey the Bluepoint fucking pen. We're never getting his adventure or his story coming out of this.
I don't know. I've heard rumors, Ciaran, that they approached you for the input on making the pitch, and you like couldn't come to an agreement, and that's why that pitch fell through. Is that true?
Yeah, because they were wanting Bluey to be a multi-factor pen, so they wanted him to have the slides with the different colors as a main mechanic, and the original idea behind Bluey the Bluepoint pen was that he was a Bluepoint pen. So he was like almost styled after the big Bluepoint biro. And I think that's an iconic trademark of that character.
I should also point out, in case it's never been pointed out before, it's ballpoint pen.
No, it's no. This is
that's the type of pen.
Yeah, but this is where Bluepoint's franchise.
It could be a Bluey the Bluepoint pen.
Can I also point out? This is such a deep cut joke from a Platinum Explosion episode 9 years ago. Like, just to put into perspective, it's a 9-year-old bit from a podcast that doesn't have episodes anymore. And it doesn't have episodes because, much like PlayStation with the games, PlayStation also basically killed that podcast.
Look, much like us seeing our evergreen content, you watch this week, motherfuckers. The platinum explosion views are going to fucking skyrocket as people look to gain information about Bluey the Bluepoint.
Just look up platinum explosion Bluepoint. I'm sure
the episode is. I believe the episode is titled Bluey the Bluepoint Pen.
Excellent.
Or something. I believe it's in the title.
Even better.
The original.
Yeah, the original.
I've just thought of a problem that wasn't a problem when I originally.
What?
The hit TV show came out ahead of us with the whole.
That was the thing at the same time, so don't worry.
Do you reckon was Bluey out there?
No, Bluey wasn't out there when I was. No.
How do you spell Bluey? And we had a.
I would have spelled Bluey the same way with a Y.
BLUI.
Yeah.
Bluey.
You just do IE.
So 2018. Fuck. October 2018. Oh, we might be in a problem here, boys.
Is that when Bluey launched?
That was
maybe
the first episode.
That's why it fell through because they couldn't get the rights.
Maybe
infractions, copyright issues. Took down Bluepoint.
I'm really seeing if I could quickly find the. Oh no, it's not as easy as I thought I could find. I'm pretty sure the episode was titled Bluey the Bluepoint Pen, or something similar. Nonetheless, Ash, do you have any thoughts on this? Bloodborne remake and Bluepoint, not Bluey the Bluepoint Pen.
I mean, I think it's fair for From Software to want to remake their own game or like have. If you want to keep a working relationship, then it's good that PlayStation kind of respected their wishes. You know, if that is the case, which it sounds like it is. But yeah, it sounds like Bluepoint like pitched a few different projects that didn't. I don't know. PlayStation for whatever reason didn't like. It's also not surprising that there was internal want to make an original game or like not a not remake. Which will disappoint people who are like, they should have just forced them to do remake after remake,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing that they're gone. So, as we discussed last week with all the, how hard it is to build a team like that.
Yeah, there was the other thing that's happening last week since we talked about it. I don't know who, what, when, where, but I was reading some stuff with apparently some places. I don't know if that means other big publishers or something, but people were trying to potentially talk about keeping the band together, sort of, but apparently it's not going to happen. But there was at least apparently talk of trying to bring the whole team over and keep them together,
make it independent or something. Yeah,
but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And then keeping on Sony for our last big story this week. Sony didn't release, Prime Video, Amazon, released their first image of the God of War series, which is shooting at the moment. It features Ryan Hurst as Kratos and Callum Vincent as Atreus in this photo. The internet has tore this to shreds. Can I get everyone's thoughts on it, please? It features Kratos leaning over, looking at Atreus, spreading his bow at someone. Ash, I'll start with you. What do you make of this photo?
It's whatever. It's I'm not going to have an opinion until there is. Actually, I'm probably going to hold my opinion until there's an actual episode out.
Oh, fucking sitting on the fence. Classic fence sitter, Ashley.
Like maybe a trailer. Like if
you can't do that. We record podcasts. You got to have a. The opinion is
my opinion is the internet is stupid and get angry about all kinds of weird shit. Have you seen some of the comments on this stuff? I'm like, I saw someone like, Kratos wouldn't crouch over.
Woke.
Just woke.
Bring him down.
He would
down to the
lower himself.
Turn him down to levels. Yeah.
Some crazy shit. And of course, naturally, the automatic comparison is it just looks like cosplay. I mean, I don't know. Is that a critique of the show or is it a compliment to cosplay? Hard to say. Until we see a finished product, I'm not going to go too hard on it, I'll say, at least.
Now, before I hand it over to Ciaran, who I assume is going to go hard, I in the news story I put up for it, I just said I would have assumed it was AI created, fan requested creation. Of course, it could all look much better in motion with some more post production effort. Is my thoughts on it. Ciaran?
So when I saw this image, I hope to God it was AI. I was really fucking hoping it was AI slop. Not because of Kratos. I didn't think Kratos looked that bad. Why is Atreus so young?
I mean, he's meant to be around that age, isn't he?
No, he looks like he's about 4 or 5.
That is not what
That looks 4 or 5. He looks like 4 or 5 in that picture. He looks so fucking young.
Have you seen a child?
I have. He does not look like he's like the thing is, so in God of War, like in the 2018, the game that it's based off,
which is presumably where this shot would be taking place.
Yeah, Atreus is supposed to be like on the cusp of being a teenager because he very quickly becomes a teenager in Ragnarok, and Ragnarok is set reasonably close to 2018. So I can't see this kid being like soon or shortly becoming a teenager. Like he looks like he's gonna get punted by the first troll that they have to face after killing that deer.
What if they don't face the deer?
Well, that's what they're going to be hunting, is going to be a deer. Unless it's a flashback where they're flashing back to an earlier time of trading Atreus, then that's fine. But I don't think
Google says he's 11 or 12.
That does not look like an 11 or 12-year-old. Can either of you tell me that looks like an 11 or 12-year-old? I would go best to like 8 tops. Like my ceiling of what that kid looks like is like 8 years old.
I don't look at kids that close.
No, I believe I was like if 10, 11 is what I would probably guess. Yeah.
No,
it's just the clothes are very big, so maybe it looks more.
No fucking way.
It's a big arrow, a big bow.
A really old 6, 7-year-old. I don't know.
8, 9. No.
I need help. Yeah. I don't know why they chose to release the picture because it doesn't look great, and it's also why would you choose to release a photo when you know how people react online when you know it doesn't look great? There's just no way a bunch of producers looked at this and went, "This is top shit." Like it's not terrible, but it's also just not a good first impression of the production, unfortunately. So anyway, so
before we move on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you going to continue on the story.
Well, I hadn't moved on yet, so you're right. You can continue.
No, I was going to move in a different direction.
Well, yeah, you can move in a different direction. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Ciaran, you weren't here last week. What are your thoughts on what's happened over Xbox as the resident Xbox person?
Look, it depends. There's like two sides. Like I've listened to as much as I can the last couple of weeks on this situation. It clearly is not no matter how Microsoft wants to play it out, it is not a thing that has been pre-planned for a long period of time. Like this has come together very fucking quickly. I think the Phil Spencer stuff is what it is. I think it is unfair. He needs to share I think it's very rough. Sarah Bond has been fucking used as a massive fucking scapegoat for everything bad about Xbox in the last fucking 10 years. And that's really
you read the
fucking
Verge article,
unfair.
I guess.
Yes.
Saw the Verge article,
Yeah. Where she's been used as a scapegoat, where everything negative about it is being placed on her, and Phil Spencer is being given a, hey, good job, son. Thank you for being here and enjoy your retirement, mate. Whereas, I think Sarah Bond is being fucking scapegoated massively, and that really fucking sucks. I think it's interesting to be like, okay, so Microsoft is now stressing about the fact that they don't really have consoles and that their console identity is fucking disappeared because of their branding strategy. It'll be interesting to see what moves they make with their next release and their next console release. The problem is they can't put the cat back in the bag. Like, I feel like the cat is out of the bag when it comes to console exclusivity and Game Pass. They're not going to all of a sudden start taking games off of PlayStation. They can't really do that because that's where the
money is coming.
Yeah, and like the money's
if they
coming.
if they weren't like PlayStation 2, you're saying they're pulling their exclusives from PC.
PCs, yeah.
Mhm.
Apparently, PlayStation's going to pull back from PC.
But
But
the problem is the
Xbox
moment
ones have been selling.
Yeah. The problem is as well that the moment Xbox starts pulling back from PlayStation, if they wanted to and very easily, could then go down the consumer law section and be like, hey guys, remember they said they were going to include their games on our console? Now they're not doing it. That's not very consumer friendly.
I think it's only like as long as they
Call
keep
of Duty.
Call of Duty on it, I think they're fine. Call of Duty is the one they could never get away with taking off.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where they go. I think it's going to be a weird. And this is the sad thing is, I think this year is such as we've talked about. Like, I think this year is such an exciting year for Xbox. I think this year could easily be a slam dunk for Xbox with the IPs coming out. So it's weird having this controversy, having this awkward start. They might have lined it up and been like, hey, this year looks like it's going to be fucking great. Let's put in some fresh faces and then we can associate this good stuff with the fresh faces and leave and be like, hey, the old guard were the problems. This new guard of people, this will be the future. It just depends on how they play it out going forward. I don't know.
Okay.
Cool. I've got nothing more to add. Just a little quick tidbit. So Marvel's Wolverine got a release date. It's been announced that's coming out September 15th, 2026. So mark that on your calendars, everyone.
your time off,
PlayStation seemingly just threw that one out to get everyone to stop talking about Bluepoint, to be honest. At least that's how it came across to me. All right, let's talk about some games we've been playing this week. Both impressions, not full, not enough here for everything. So Resident Evil Requiem's come out. I've played some. I believe Ciaran's played some. And then Marathon's been having its server slam, which tried out some of that as well. But let's start with Resident Evil Requiem. I've played about, 4 or 5 hours maybe. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm surprised at how it's doing a good balancing act, at least so far, switching between
Grace and
Leon.
Leon.
Grace and Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Considering when you leave the game on its default settings, which it suggests to do, Grace plays in first person, and her sections of the game are very much like
they're survival horror. They're like the opening section of Resident Evil 7. It's
sneaking around. There's monsters. You don't have much ammo for your guns. Running, hiding, a little bit more. It's the proper survival horror stuff. And then so far, I'm worried it won't last as the game continues, but we shall see. But so far, they've done a good job of balancing, shocking, big pulse pounding, scare, run away from creature moments with her, and then you jump to Leon, and it hasn't been too much of like, you just killed the mood, because Leon sections are third person, Resident Evil 4 inspired, action, more action heavy. You know, he's got plenty of ammo. You kill enemy, they drop ammo. There's a part where you get a chainsaw, and I was just mowing down and tearing people's blood. Like Leon sections are complete action, and the switch between first person and third person, I don't think it's weird, and I don't think so far the pacing's weird. I think the game is very beautiful looking. That the opening section where you're walking along the street, I was like, oh, this is very nice, and everything like that looks very pretty. The sound design is really, really good. Sometimes I'm even with my my sound setup. This one has a really good like surround sound to it, which is quite good and needed for horror games as well. I think story so far, I'm intrigued. There's a potential like what's happening to Leon sort of thing that I'm excited to see plays out. The main bad guy, I'm like, I'm not too whatever so far, but I'm enjoying it. Ciaran, how much have you managed to play?
But I played a couple hours. I think it's so funny. Like this game actually looks stunning. I'm playing it on PC. What's insane is flicking between, especially in that street section when you start the game, it's flicking from first person to third person. The game looks even better because the detail of Grace's character model is fucking insane. It's so funny that her character model is done so well. The lighting on her backpack, like the details, the definition, and her character is designed not to see that for the entire time.
Yeah.
I think it's wild. I think at the moment it seems like in a very wonderful dichotomy between Grace and Leon, because as you play through the Grace section, you've got tension building up, and by the time you feel like, oh, this is getting too much tension, it seems at the moment that they flick immediately to Leon in those sections, and then you're mowing shit down and you're being the action hero and you're saying cheesy one-liners and you're having a great time. And then the moment you start feeling too confident, the moment you start feeling too powerful as Leon, it flicks you straight back to Grace. And you're back to building that tension. And I think one of the problems in Resident Evil games, especially maybe Village and Resident Evil 7, probably after the first third of the game, the horror elements stop, because you've gathered together enough weaponry, you've gathered together enough knowledge about the game, you're confident enough in your character that you can take on any challenges that come across you. So you don't really feel that kind of tension, you don't feel that kind of scariness. It is still horror, it's still scary, there's still bad creatures. You know you've got a big ass gun in your hands, you can just point and shoot them. This game, because of this dichotomy between the two characters, it prevents that. Grace, I feel like, and I hope it doesn't happen down the line, she's never going to get to that too strong nature, but you're always going to have that with Leon, so that you can maintain that tension, maintain the horror as Grace, but then shift over to Leon to get that action-packed nature of the game. I think, the pacing so far seems absolutely great. I think this is so far the scariest of the horror elements. Is the scariest of any Resident Evil game, in my opinion. Even just a case of what's made it worse for me is I don't love horror, but I love playing these games. But it's easy for me to remember to not so much ignore my fear and anxiety, but just kind of push to one side, because the main character isn't as scared. Like Ethan Winters, by the point in even like halfway through the start of Resident Evil 7, like he could no longer like not die, but like he could lose a hand and just fucking attach it back on with a bit of fucking magic spritz. Or you're playing as a Chris Redfield or a Leon Kennedy, who are
the only scary Village was scary.
Village
when you were
only
in the
scary
castle at the start with Lady Demascara or whatever,
and the
then
house Benevito with the puppet.
Yeah,
where it went full like
that,
PT. Yeah.
Other than that, the rest is just
wasn't scary. What I think makes this game even scarier is how scared Grace is. Because she's fucking terrified. And that made me remember how fucking terrified and scared I was in the same moment. Like, her breath would catch on something, or she would panic about something, and then I would immediately be drawn in and pulled into that straight away.
I think the good thing they do with her that helps like make that work is the first location she goes to visit at the start of the game, the hotel, to investigate the murder that happens there, is where it's like straight away, okay, this is where her mum died 8 years earlier. So she's having like a panic attack before she wants to get in there. And then after she shows up there, obviously the world just turns to shit. So, but it's not just, the random character's scared because there's creepy stuff happening. It's like she's already on edge because she doesn't want to be here, because at the place where she witnessed her mum get her fucking head nearly chopped off.
Yes.
By a crazy dude. So, yeah.
And then even that, they've this game has also, like, without too many spoilers, like, has pushed itself in terms of its zombie design. Having zombies that seem to maintain the knowledge of what they could do in their living period, like zombies holding the chainsaw and picking up the chainsaw, or having guns, or knowing, you'd be walking down and there'll be like a lady that's like cleaning the zombie cleaning something, because that's what they did in their normal life.
And they'll be saying stuff too. Like, I think the one that you're cleaning, you walk into a toilet and she's like, clean, 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 gotta clean, clean, clean. Like, it's like they're muttering to herself.
Yeah. So, I'm loving it so far. It is fantastic. I'm great that I think for Fantasy Game Critic it's settled on like an 88. So that is some good points for me, baby. But yeah, it's been great to see.
Yeah, cool. Marathon server, whatever
Slam.
server slam. I keep forgetting. I don't have a lot of experience with these sorts of games, so I'll just go first. So Marathon is a, what do we call it, extraction shooter?
Extraction shooter,
yeah, PvE VP sort of setup. The game starts, you do like sort of a tutorial thing, introduction to the basics of the game. But from that point in, it's you pretty much the characters you're playing as are just mines somewhere, and that's how you can explain that if you die. They're constantly able to lose your gear, but you can constantly come back alive. And more or less in this world, there's all these corporations, and the Earth one owns the right to this Marathon planet or whatever the hell the actual thing's called. And you're going there to scavenge it and find stuff and bring back good gear. And along the way, you're working for different groups and stuff. I don't know, stories, whatever. You load into a map or an area of which the Server Slam has 3 that you can pick from, and then you're on a team with 2 other people, and you can have different objectives depending on different things you've activated before you go on in, but more or less you want to find shit and escape eventually is the core crux of the game. I don't mind the game itself. I'm going to get out of the way my biggest complaint straight away that is really annoying me. I can't get away from it. I hate the UI in this game. This game, I think, has some of the worst UI I have ever seen or I had to participate in. There are so many weird, odd decisions that I think that someone just thinks look really fucking cool, but it just makes it hard for me to look at, understand what I'm doing, and just make decisions and stuff. And that can be from everything from the fucking loadout menu, looking at what I'm even bringing into it, to looking at the map and still being like, why is it signed like this way? Why can't I zoom in? Like all these weird little odd choices. That's my biggest complaint. It's really annoying me though, to the point it's like really annoying me, the UI. Actual gameplay I think is good though. The shooting feels good. The different classes, I don't know what they're actually called, but the different little classes that you can pick from. I tried out 3 or 4 of them and then went back to the one I might like the most, which I don't know what class it is, but it shoots like a little pushback L1 past the ability. That's fun. And then the fact you can unlock a different class that you can just play as in if you want to go solo instead of with teams, that's kind of a neat idea as well. Yeah, to me, it's fine. I don't think so far, having played it, I need to obviously full game and everything's coming up. But between the UI annoying me and some other stuff, I'm like, yeah, the shooting feels fun. This one's but I'm like, I'm not feeling a big like hook. Now, will that change if I actually play with people? Because me and Ciaran were talking about today how it does crossplay and was like, do it. Because I've only played with random. So would it be more fun with others? Probably, but I'm still going to have some annoyances that won't change, which are the fucking UI. Ciaran.
I think the same with Arc Raiders. I think it's a symptom of the genre rather than the games individually. This game lives and dies by its community, and also for everybody individually, it lives and dies by who you have to play the game with. If you and a group of friends are really into this kind of game, you're going to have a good time. I think it's got really good Bungie shooting. I was a bit weird about the game. The first gun they give you is like it's almost like just above like an assault rifle, and it feels almost like it's like a heavy SMG almost, which I was like, this is a really weird choice because I would have thought they would have wanted you to kind of experience something of their kind of style of gun, like a battle rifle or a really sweet pistol or something. But I think, yeah, having people to jump into this game with, to plan your team around, to be tactical with, to kind of get immersed with, I think is the most important thing. And if you don't have that, you're going to have a hard time getting into this game in general. And I think solo play in this game or jumping in and having filled teammates, it's really hard because either you have to be very outgoing and talk to the people immediately that you're going into the game with. I think it just depends on the game. Like I don't think these games are ever quite for me because my brain just doesn't have something to latch on to push me to keep going. Like the cycle of go in, get better loot, come out, go in, get better loot. I just don't.
Well, I think from my understanding, it's like those, the objectives you could set pre, which unlock the next like story cuts. I guess that's your like, what should I be doing next?
Yeah. But even then, it's just like, I guess, like, say if you compare it to, say, a competitive shooter of any time, number go up is a very easy thing for my brain to get onto. Is
you level up?
You level up, but like, so like rank goes up, prove you are better. That itches a good spot in my brain that I get.
It goes up, and then your season, from what I understand, it'll reset every season. So.
Yeah, well, like that works. So
you might have a leaderboard.
I don't think I'll give it a try, and I'm looking forward to trying it when the full game is released. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to be something that forces its way into my normal rotation at all.
Did you have a chance to play any Ash or no?
No, I didn't get a chance. I might have tried, but wasn't able to get around to it.
Well, I'll also say the first mistake I made, because we've already got sent codes ready to go. If you download that's what you've done. If you download the game and try and launch the actual game, it's not going to be live until release date. Like, reviewers aren't getting early access until the like everyone's playing it at once. You have to download the separate service land.
Oh, you guys are spuds if you had that as a
you had to download 2 versions.
Okay. Fucking my goodness.
All right, before we wrap up this week, I just want to
I have one more random question to catch up with Ciaran. Are you playing Overwatch again? Seeing as it's called Overwatch again?
Yeah. I've seen it pop up several times on Steam. Ciaran's playing Overwatch.
Yeah, right. You got me. Yeah, I mean, Overwatch at the moment. It's been good, actually.
What happened?
It feels refreshing. Like, it's more. No, it's not even explaining. It is.
It's
very
a mobile
much
MOBA now.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not going to be touching that fucking isometric, whatever that shit is. But like they came up with they've rebranded to Overwatch. They've gone back to, they released 5 characters. Look, guys. One of the characters is a fucking cat with a jetpack that steals people and like flies friends through the air, and it's fucking great. And like the only lore thing behind it, it's just a cat that learned how to use a jetpack. That is all the lore behind that character, and that is fantastic. It just feels good. It feels good again. It'll be interesting to see if they can maintain the momentum. I think by the looks of it, Blizzard have managed to shed the weight of the Overwatch 2 development, the focus on PvE. I think this is very much them. Spent the last 12 to 24 months riding the train a bit, getting them set back to being a hero shooter. Thank you. Getting themselves back to being a hero shooter. So it's something fun to jump into at the moment and play.
Because I had it on the show notes whenever it was a couple of weeks ago. And then I literally said to Ash, I'm like, I'm removing this now. I needed Ciaran to explain what the fuck any of this meant. I could not pretend.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I was like, I have no fucking clue.
It was good shit though. It's been good.
All right. Wrapping up, I'm just going to go through March's upcoming, now that we're in March, the video game releases for this month, and then, pick a couple of things that stand out to us that look good. The full list is on ExplosionNetwork.com if you want to look for it. I tried to get as many video games in here, but I'm going to skip some just for sake of brevity, lead over the bigger ones. But March 3rd, Scott Pilgrim EX is coming out. March 4th, you have Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. iRacing Arcade comes out there. March 5th, Pokemon Pokopia, as mentioned before. Then on the same day, a bunch of amiibos come out. Shout out to them. Oceanhorn 3 comes out. Letter of Shadow. Letter of the Shadow. I'm going to give this a shout out. Comes out Apple Arcade. Those Oceanhorn games, I've never finished any of them, but they've always been quite good. March 6th, Marathon does come out alongside a limited edition DualSense controller, as well as Planet of Lana 2, and then Poker Night at the Inventory comes out, which is, in fact, the poker game that you did play on your Orange Box or Steam years ago, but then got removed for some reason that I can't remember or understand at this stage. But, yeah, it's a fun game that I assume it's exactly the same, but just upgraded anyway. March 10th, Greedfall, The Dying World launches into 1.0 after being in early access for quite some time. March 12th, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly Remake comes out, alongside John Carpenter's Toxic Commando comes out the same day. March 13th, WWE 2K26 releases, as well as Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. Then there's a game called 1348 Ex Voto, which I'm going to shout out because I never heard this. And then when I was making this list, I watched the trailer and I was like, I don't know, this looks like some fucking medieval time sword fighting that people probably enjoy. I don't know much about it. Just look cool. Watch the trailer. Collector's Cove comes out the same day. This game has been coming for years at this point, I feel. And then Rel Warped Worlds and Trouble Times also comes out. And didn't hear this until I put together the list. I'm going to this one a shout out because there's a really beautiful art style. Looks funny. Sort of side-scrolling 2D, 3D art style, 2.5D art style. I don't know what's going on. It looks really cool, though. March 17th, Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War comes out alongside the Seven Deadly Sins Origin, which is the online one, I believe, of those. March 19th, Shadow Tactics Blazer Shogun comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 if you want to play it there. Mouse PI for Hire was supposed to come out. It was been delayed to April 16th. Fuck! March 20th, Crimson Desert finally launches in full alongside Death Stranding 2 on the Beach PC edition of that one. And then March 26th, you've got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park. What a fucking title. Comes out with new amiibos, including the elephant amiibo, which I think I want. Also on the same day, Damon and Baby comes out. This one was shown at the PC Gaming Showcase at the Summer Game Fest last year, I think, around that sort of time. It looks very cool. I don't know, a demon, there's a baby. I don't know. I honestly don't think I've seen a trailer since then, but I remember watching it then and going, this looks cool. And then now it's suddenly apparently coming out. So, and then March 27th, Life is Strange Reunion comes out alongside New Super Lucky's Tales comes to PlayStation 5, seemingly, I swear, years after it came everything else. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection comes out if you haven't played all those already. Screamer comes out, which is a new version of Initial D is how I'm fucking pitching that in my life. And that's it. So Ash, what games are you looking forward to playing in March?
Scott Pilgrim, possibly. I mean, I played a little bit of the demo and that was pretty fun. And then on your list, you've got Solstice 2, which is like probably the closest thing we're going to get to Baldur's Gate this year. So I'd be keen to check that out.
Ciaran, what's taking your pickling your fancy?
I think my big thing's already come out with Resident Evil, of course. Which doesn't
that was
really
last
count
month,
as
mate.
Doesn't really count as fucking March, does it? No.
Life is Strange?
Probably Life is Strange. Even that makes the most sense. I'll go with Life is Strange, 100%.
It's crazy. It's only this month now.
Yeah, after they literally announced it, like they announced it and it comes out already. Wild.
Especially when it only feels like even though it's been a while, like it only feels like the last Life is Strange only just come out. Ago? Yeah.
Time flies when you're time traveling.
Can.
Yep. So Life is Strange, I'm keen, obviously, to see the end of that story. Damon and Baby, as I just said, I'm sort of keen to see that hopefully come out. I will be playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2, or at least some of it to see how that, because that game was already really good, so I'm keen for that. And then probably, I guess, Pokemon Pokopia, of course, comes out this week, so that would be a thing. And then a kind of Monster Hunter Stories as well as Fatal Frame 2, I'd say, are the other two games that
even as a case still, you probably haven't seen this because there's no way you've been on the website. You've been fucked by Slay the Spire coming out as early access this week.
Did it?
No, early access at the end of March. So it's coming out as early access at the end of March. But it means the full release date won't be this year by the looks of it. So that's in your fantasy game critic. So you get nothing for that.
Well, it depends if we get enough reviews. I can't remember what the rules were.
Well, at the minute, if you go on Fantasy Game Critic, it's got a bit old X in it. It's got a big old nah.
I don't know how I was about to say, I don't know what they do for the Metacritic does for early access reviews. I mean, I don't think people should score early access reviews anyway. So
because it's got a big old X at the moment for you, and it says will not release. This game will not release this year, and a big old zero.
It could change though. They could
big old zero.
They could put it out early, release it early.
Yeah, it could turn out to be very successful, and they're like, everybody could love it, and they're like, we've made no mistakes. Let's just put it out.
Yeah, we're talking. Anyway, that'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know any comments, questions, concerns about anything we've discussed this week on the show. Or send us something to discuss next week on the show by heading to explosionnetwork.com/follow, where you can find all of our social media links. And if you like the show and like to support the podcast and Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. We'll see you here next week, same time, same couch. Goodbye.